Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Today we're going to be discussing the energy that's prominent beginning today, the 21st of March, and continuing till the 27th. However, before we move forward so quickly, I do want to stop and talk about yesterday. Yesterday was the spring equinox as well. We said happy birthday to our Aries friends, so I'd like to do that publicly today. Happy birthday, all of our Aries folks out there in YouTubeville. But more importantly, I want to talk about the equinox as well. At the time of the equinox, there is something called the Russell-McFerrin effect. They were two scientists out of UCLA that were able to determine that at the time of the equinox, at the poles, at the North and South Pole, the Earth's magnetic field has cracks. Those cracks at that time allowed this very high vibrational light and frequency light to come pouring into our atmosphere. You could have had very mild to moderate headache symptoms, or queasy feelings, or dizziness. That's all part of this high vibrational energy coming in and our bodies trying to process that energy. But more importantly, the potential that lies in that high vibrational energy coming in. Absolutely grab hold of it, set an intention, things that you want to achieve between now and the fall equinox. Focus on that, harness that energy, and use it to your greater good. You can do it this morning, by all means. Stop. The further we get away from this aspect, which was on the 20th, the more difficult it is to channel and harness that energy. So if you do watch this today, the 21st, today would be the day to do it as early in the day as possible. But nonetheless, set that intention, use the energy, take yourself back to that moment in time mentally, harness that energy, and set that intention for the next 6 months or so. Now, today, Venus moves into Aries. We've talked about Aries energy. Aries energy, which Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it's very innocent and unbridled energy. It can be very assertive and just bold. So as Venus, which is the planet of relationships and money, moves into Aries, it's going to give us the courage and confidence necessary to assert our needs in relationship. Those relationships can be at home with your family, it could be at work, it could be with your significant other. Any relationship that you are engaged in, you are going to have the courage to speak your truth and assert your needs. Now, please be mindful of your words. Also be mindful of impatience with others or yourself. This energy will allow us to close the door on relationships that we have outgrown or that we've gone back and forth on and have finally decided we need to shut the door. We need to speak our truth, even if it's just to ourselves about that relationship, but then close the door and move forward, allowing that space to be created for something to meet you and raise your vibration for the greater good. So you're creating space for greater high vibrational things to come into your sphere of being. So that's today. Tomorrow, Monday, the 22nd, Mars is in Gemini, and it is going to trine Saturn that is in Aquarius. Before we talk about that aspect, I want to go back to when Mars and Saturn were conjunct in Aquarius. Conjunct means very close, if not in the same area, a degree of area in that zodiac sign. So Mars and Saturn were conjunct at the time last year when we were shut down, when we were forced into isolation for purpose of healing the planet and hopefully stopping a dreaded virus. So we were asked to separate, go home, and restrict our movements with one another. So that was last year. This year, Mars is trine Saturn. They're in two different zodiacal aspects. This is a very harmonizing union. But it's asking us to go back to that time a year ago when they were conjunct. What have we learned? What lessons have we learned? And how can we activate those lessons into our life for the greater good? Mars, again, is action. Saturn are lessons learned or lessons to be learned. But because I want you to go back to last year at the time when these two planets were conjunct and understand that there was a purpose involved there. What lessons did you learn, and how can you apply that moving forward or for your greater good? Let me give you an example. So last year at the time of shutdown, I used the internet frequently for work, for family, emails, that sort of thing. I had no idea how reliant I was going to be on that technology as we got shut down and forced into isolation. I have two family members, two children. One is in the same time zone as I am, but different states. And the other one is 6 hours away from me in a whole different island. So a whole different area. So it was important to me to be able to remain in communication with my children especially, and technology is what bridged that gap. So moving forward, how would I be able to use that technology to bridge a gap for my greater good? Hello, here we are, Unity Consciousness. I had to set up this channel. I wanted the lessons learned and able to get the word out to folks that may be on the other side of the planet or in the same town as I am, however, restricted from being together for whatever reason. The communication can still exist for the purpose of ascension and understanding and the greater good. That's an example of when you have Mars trining Saturn, something that you can look at, something you can extract a lesson from, apply it to yourself for the greater good moving forward. Then on Tuesday, we have a couple different things going on. The first one is Pluto is in Capricorn, and it's going to be quintile to Chiron, which is in Aries. So Pluto is the planet of transformation, and Chiron is the wounded healer. So the purpose of this aspect is going to allow us to dive deep for the sake of healing ourselves and others, but also we could feel some very deep creative juices flowing on this day. At the same time, Mercury is going to square Mars. Mercury is in Pisces and Mars is in Gemini. So this has an element of impatience relative to communications. Again, Mercury rules communications and technology, and again, Mars is very assertive energy. So again, be mindful of your words. When you take this day and the energy this day and you talk about Venus and it moving into Aries, again, be mindful of our words. Make sure if you're at the receiving end of words, hear to understand. Make sure that you're not listening so that you can be combative or defensive. There's a lesson in that for you, whether you are the person who has the courage to speak or you are the listener who has the courage to hear for the purpose of understanding and maybe a change that will benefit you as a whole. Then on Wednesday, the 24th, we've got Mercury squares the nodal axis. We've talked about the nodal axis. We've got eclipse season right around the corner, and there will be continual planet activations relative to the nodal axis. Mercury squaring the nodal axis will provide us new information. Again, Mercury, communications, technology, the nodal axis, which is the greater good. And this is on a grand stage for the greater good of the collective, not as an individual, but the collective. So, Mercury squaring the nodal axis will provide us with new information that will allow us to move forward and be mindful of words. Your buttons could be pushed pretty easily on this day. So as you hear things, if they don't suit you, please don't let them put you in a defensive place. Pause. Take a breath. If you need to revisit it, step away and revisit it. Please do that. Please do that. This energy will move pretty quickly, however. Then on the 26th, which is Friday, Mars is conjunct the North Node. Again, we had Mercury squaring the nodal axis. Now we've got Mars conjunct the North Node. This aspect occurs every couple of years. But it is an event that occurs on the public stage that is going to push us towards the greater good. Without being an alarmist, as I look back on some of these dates and try to get a greater understanding of what this energy presents and what we can extract from it, I noticed that 9/11 took place when Mars was conjunct the North Node. I can't think of a time in recent history, certainly in the past, 10 to 15 years, where there's been such compassion that was an immediate reaction to an instance or an occurrence that took the entire world to this place of compassion. So just be aware on Friday, the 26th, when Mars conjuncts the North Node, there will most likely be an assertive event. Again, Mars is involved on the public stage. Again, nodal axis means public stage. It has to do with the greater good and the greater consciousness that is going to push us towards the greater good of humanity and also for ourselves. On that same day, Venus meets the Sun in Aries. So what does this do? That's going to give us the physical power of love and understanding our vitality. So that energy, coupled with Mars conjunct the North Node, it'll be interesting to see what the outcome is of this day. I would encourage you to be observant instead of participatory. Get lots of rest. If things become overwhelmed, take a break. Turn off the TV, shut down your computer, turn off your phone, and step outside. Go take a walk. Find your happy place, get yourself back to center, then reemerge again and see what you need to do with that energy to use it to your greater good. So that's this week. We have a lot going on. Again, a lot of activity relative to our North Node or the North Node of the collective. Again, eclipse season is just around the corner. These aspects are going to continue to happen to help pull us where we need to be so that those eclipses will be able to eclipse items out of our life and bring things into our life so that we can achieve our highest level of consciousness or greater good. Now, I do want to talk really quick. On the 28th, I will do my best to drop a video next Sunday because I do want to highlight next Sunday's full moon. We have a full super moon in Libra next Sunday. So I hope to put a video together. I may even put it out on Saturday that will address this full moon in detail. Again, Libra deals with relationships, justice, balance and harmony. So it will be a very, very, as all these full moons, all of this activity is for a positive benefit. But I see this as being a very, very helpful full moon, full super moon for us. Anyway, thank you. I hope you have a fantastic week. Happy birthday again, Aries, and happy spring. I'm so excited that spring is here. I wanted to put on a nice flowery shirt, but it's still a little chilly where I'm at, so I had to go with a sweater. But anyway, take care. Please, if you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe so you know when the videos are being dropped. And if you have any questions, post them in the comments section below, and I will check them over the course of the week and get back to you with an answer as quickly as I possibly can. Again, thank you. Take care. Namaste.